Hello and welcome to the Stanley Parable. This is a game I am uber fascinated to get into because it came out in 2011 and it was re-released in 2013 as a full game because it was originally released as a mod, and people have been talking to me about it ever since the game came out. It's actually going to also be released again this year with even more new exciting things on it. Apparently, so that's going to be very exciting if you're a big fan of it. But the game has been on my radar for so long, and whenever anybody has told, like I've asked people about the game, because a lot of people have talked to me about it, inevitably they always describe it like this. Oh, it's like a walking simulator, but it's really weird and you should play it. So all I've ever gathered from it is it's a walking simulator and it's really weird and that I should play it. And so thanks to Canadian, I will be doing that tonight. Finally. So some of you may know that last week and this week I've been playing games suggested to me by my subs, and the sub this day for Stanley Parable was Canadian, and that does sound very weird out of context, especially because I know he prefers to be called Daddy. The reason I know he prefers to be called that is because I am a long-time supporter of his own channel, Canadian_Danish. I shouldn't just say his channel, he is actually his and Danish's channel, hence the Canadian_Danish. And thank you so much for the resub there, Canadian, speaking of support. But he and his girlfriend, they stream as well. They're variety streamers. I absolutely adore them. Currently they're doing Horizon Zero Dawn, and they're going to do Stalker, Shadows of Chernobyl. In fact, actually, because they stream at sort of the opposite to me, if you are still up after 6 hours, 6 hours from now, 4 hours after my stream, Canadian will actually be starting Stalker, Shadows of Chernobyl. So honestly, do yourself a favor and go check them out. They are fantastic. But without further ado, let us stop the funky pretzel music. So this is a little bit, if anyone's been writing in chat, I haven't seen it yet because the sort of setup to get Stanley to work has been a little bit weird, so I have to do things in a certain order. So let me change us to game face. I just need to make sure that Stanley will be picked up. Excellent. And now I can see the lovely chatters, though that will go back down on me again. Ah, there we are. Excellent. Okay, so you're all here. And again, thank you, Canadian, so much for the resub there. That's very, very super cool of you. Okay, guys, so let's get into it. And you can't wait to see how I die in Stanley Parable. Can you die in this game? I'm not entirely sure, but let's start. Now, do sing out if something goes wrong. I've not tested anything. Because I've heard that from start to finish, anything you do in this game drastically changes it. So I've not wanted to sort of...
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
All right.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
Okay.
This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
All right, Stanley. Stanley was happy.
Then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
Oh no.
Never in all his years at the company had this happened.
A public holiday had never existed.
Isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
So just before I go further, just making sure video and everything is coming through clear for you guys. Normally I test it out, just with this one game I really didn't want to in case I did something that was hilarious. But yes, just make sure you're not saying anything, Barry, so I'm gonna assume everything is cool. Sound great, but we can get subtitles? Cool. I actually am not sure what Resident I'm playing at. Let's find out together, everyone. There would probably be an audio, wouldn't it? Closed captioning. Full captions? And okay. There's the whatever's here. Alright. Okie dokie. Let's go on. I do like the narrator's voice. So, I am a employee trapped in an office and I have to go out. Okay. Oh, I can just shut it. Can
Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if
Really?
he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that.
I have a desk to hide under. Oh, I have a desk to hide under.
Go anywhere except badly.
Oh.
The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. And here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed. Then days.
Thanks, Canadian. Thanks. I'm glad it looks good.
Gone by, he no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive.
Excellent.
Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do.
Sure.
Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer.
Excellent.
Here it comes.
Oh. Did we win? Does he... I take it he wants me to leave? I can't type on my keyboard. Oh. But I like it in that room. What about here? No. I am moving the mouse a bit fast. Hang on. Would it be in mouse sensitivity, I think? Okay. I think that might be a little bit better.
Co-workers were gone. What did it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
We can't go back to our home, everyone. We've been kicked out. Okay.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh no. What happened to our co-workers?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office.
Yes.
But it didn't make a single difference.
Which is not something you should do since 2020 occurred.
In any way.
I'm waiting for it to let me back into my office, but I don't... This damn narrator won't let me. Alright, fine. Shall we journey forward then? Oh, that beeped. No, okay. Some of it's beeping. I'm not even sure what the meeting room looks like. Alright. Oh, hang on. Awaiting input. I can input things. Am I inputting? A thing came up? No. Okay. Onwards we go then. You don't think you've ever tried not leaving the room? Can I just not leave the room? Okay. Sure. What's... No, that... We just came from there. Hey, I managed to get confused already. There you go. I looked away for a second. And I managed to go backwards. Is it a game if I don't get lost? I feel like it's not.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Sure. I wonder what else I can do in the employee lounge. I'm just trying to click on everything, but nothing else is letting me do anything. Ooh.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all.
Did you say I must disobey the narrator? Excellent. All right. So I believe that one has the that one has the 5-minute one, correct? So 5 minutes on, we must disobey the narrator. Let's go. Oh, Sphinx, hey, how's it going? And also the Stew, how are you going as well? I hope you both are going well. I'm not another horror game. I'm in the Stanley Parable.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight
Oh, no.
ahead to the opposite door, and got back on
No.
track.
No. Stu said we're disobeying you. Down we go! Disobeyment done! Oh, fair enough. And then obviously went through it. Revered Jackal, how is it going?
Back to the office. He wanted to wander about. and
It's
get
going
even
good
farther
here.
Off track. So now, in order to get back,
Oh.
he needed to go.
Hang on. He wanted to wander about and not even go off track. So in order to go back, he needed to go... Hang on a sec. I need to just... No. It's not left. We have to go right. That is the rule. That would have been so good if you'd been able to ban the word pony. That would have been absolutely hilarious. So it's forcing me to obey the narrator, which is very upsetting. So I have to do it this once only because there's not the way there, but we will disobey him the next...
No, it's to the right. My mistake.
No. Now, oh my god, I think the narrator is messing with us at this point.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
The narrator is trolling us. I'm glad you enjoy my TikToks, Revered. Would you like Revered or Jackal, or would you like the full title? Just let me know.
I've got it now. This story is
And hopefully you enjoy the stream. We're playing different games that I normally play this week, where they're all suggested by my subs, so they're all different things that I've not explored, so this is the first time Stanley Parable. Okay, so when he says this way, can we get into the car? We can't get into the car. Oh gosh. Alright, so I want to disobey this man,
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet.
I just got an achievement saying I can't jump.
Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
No. Let's take it all. Drink it in, everyone. Drink it in.
Back to,
Drink in all the numbers.
Am I kidding? It's all rubbish now.
Drink it.
The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
No!
And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay.
Well...
From the top.
Is that the second time we've beat the game now? Because that's put us back in the front office? Look, we found a game I can speedrun, everyone! That's amazing!
All his co-workers
okay.
are gone.
So we have to disobey him still.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No. I know where the meeting room isn't. So the meeting room... Because we've still got 2 minutes left, so we'll see what happens if we keep disobeying him. I think we might end up on another loop, but that's okay.
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I
Oh,
definitely
no.
restarted the game over.
It's
completely fresh.
different.
Everything should be... Oh, did something change?
Uh-oh.
Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley.
Oh.
Let's find the story.
No, I want to go back to my room. Can I... Okay. So I guess we're going this way then, everybody. What else is down here? So we've got... Alright, the narrator's gone eerily silent. He's normally giving us commands, and I can't disobey him if he doesn't give me commands. So, let's just wander around the hall. I feel like obviously I can't break this game, right? I know that I keep breaking games, but surely I can't bust this.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay,
What, you don't like the labyrinth? Oh, okay, third restart, everyone. Alright, so we still have a minute left to disobey the narrator.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh my
What could
gosh.
it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I feel like the narrator is starting to sound a little bit annoyed with himself, like he's now reread it out for the 5th millionth
Okay,
time.
It's worse.
Uh-oh.
I might be remembering this wrong.
I think we've...
It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction?
He has my
and see if
level
we
of
missed
navigation
anything?
skills. What do you think happens if we just wait? It probably won't let us just wait like it did in the office, will it? Alright. we've only got one option. Oh, hang on. That computer's on. Username. Oh, it's off. Damn it. And it doesn't let you hide under the desk and just let the whole apocalyptic situation go by. I do like the idea. Okay.
I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story.
All right. We can obey him again now.
And retrace our steps.
Oh my goodness. So we're going to go back the other way just to retrace our steps with this guy. Sure not. I feel like the narrator is drunk or tipsy at this. Oh gosh, it's getting worse. I think we're behind the scenes of the story.
No, well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember?
Oh gosh.
Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing,
is he punishing me for disobeying him?
You win!
Yay!
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So,
thank you.
Good job.
That was a really good game, Canadian. I enjoyed that. It didn't last as long as I thought it would.
I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
Actually, I kerfuffled you, so...
I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is.
He just keeps taking doors away from me.
I have to restart.
Oh, there we go. I feel like we should have had... Good game. Easiest win we've ever done. I am feeling like the narrator is like just drunk or something at this stage.
This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Oh, good, because last time someone followed a yellow path, it led to a lying man behind a computer screen. Man who already has sent me to an area with computer screens and lied to me several times. I trust this. I wonder if we'll find our own Tin Man, Cowardly Lion, and Scarecrow. If so, and if it gets dark, with the Scarecrow, you can light him on fire, and therefore you have a walking torch with you. And he doesn't have a brain to tell himself he's on fire.
It's over in this direction. Onward,
sure.
Stanley, to destiny.
Let's follow.
Here's a thought.
Uh-oh.
Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I feel like he's... follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right?
So, the narrator is just popping off, isn't he?
Rests inside of your subjective experience of this office.
Does he normally talk this much?
In fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct. Whoa.
Or have I just broke? So Stu, basically the game is meant to change a lot. Like when people play it, it's meant to change with how they play it.
You know what? I think what we need.
Perhaps I've just done something very bad to this narrator. Okay, we've got music, everybody. Coward ending. Okay. So there's meant to be 9 different endings, apparently. Hey, Disco, how's it going? Hello, best bud. Oh gosh. So now we've got music. We're following the yellow brick road. Oh gosh. Okay, let's keep doing that, I guess. Isn't it jazzy music? Possibly 19 endings now. Dear Lord. All right, so that would be maybe why, Stu, you've seen it, but you haven't quite seen the chaos that we're ensuing into it tonight. But as I keep... Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Is this changing? Oh, good Lord. Uh-oh. Okay. This is what's happened. Well, it's... Sure. The narrator is definitely off his rocker.
Cut the music. Go back and look at that fern.
No. Last time
we're back at the office?
We are.
Oh,
Is this not what we wanted?
You do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right?
Oh,
the
God.
Story?
Okay.
Is any of this ringing a bell?
Creates line. The line immediately goes off track. Yep, that makes sense. Oh, good. So, the line... Oh, dear Lord.
Stanley, This fern will be very important later in the story.
This fern?
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Well, that's gone now. Okay, so the fern is apparently important. No problem, Discoy. Have fun at school. That's always not a fun thing to do. Well, sometimes it is, I lie. But, you know, in general... okay, so that door's locked. Maybe we are trying to follow this line. Alright, let's keep going there. But yes, as our narrator is progressively doing antics that make me think he's possibly had too much of a bottle, with the craziness here. Did you guys know that beer in Russia was actually classified as soda until 2011, when they had to reclassify it as alcohol because it became so popular in the preceding decade, because it had a 40% increase because people were saying that it was a healthy alternative to vodka. And so the Russians had to be like, actually, this is also alcohol, FYI. It seems to be looping us in one section, everybody. So that's not fantastical. That takes us back to there. And if we come out here, I guess we have to follow the line this way. All right, sure. I don't know if we followed it this way or not, but that's... Okay, we're back here. Good. Back to the chaos room.
No, not again.
Excellent. All right, all right.
Done this to us, and after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Was that another ending? Okay. Best adventure.
You know what, Stanley?
Oh God,
I say
he shut the door on
forget
us.
the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story?
Intelligent people.
Something exciting, daring, mysterious.
Well,
Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable.
normally I have
simply start
co-workers to,
wondering-
well,
I don't know.
at least humanoids to work off
This
of.
direction.
Which, okay. I thought I was going to get a bit more freedom in the game, but maybe not.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything.
I would laugh if, like, the ending is the narrator has actually killed everyone in the building just to hold Stanley hostage so he has a friend.
I'm ready for it.
The true ending of the Stanley Parable is you're actually trapped by a crazed serial killer who just wants to be your best friend.
Oh, no.
Oh, good, the
you
line's
again.
back.
Stanley, I'd also like to
Okay.
veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story.
He's going to
No
come for the
lines
line
or
next.
monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
I like the line. Look at it. It's got crazy squeals. It's a spirit of its own kind. It's going into the roof. I'd like to be in the roof.
Ah, a choice.
Okay.
We get to make a decision.
Oh,
From
good.
Here, the story is in our control.
Oh,
How
really?
important we mustn't squander the opportunity.
Oh.
In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here.
No.
Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay. So I know that each door has to lead somewhere.
If I can't do
Which means
this...
that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go. there
What if I
must
don't
be
walk in a circle at
reverse
all?
door that
Do you think
leads
this affects
there.
it?
And that in turn.
I was thinking
means that
maybe
our
walking in the opposite.
destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin.
You can't
So
jump
starting
either.
from
Oh
the
my
right,
gosh.
Let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
There is no logic in this place. No! He's forcing us to use logic, everybody! The cruelty of this narrator. Alright, into here. Oh gosh, the confusion ending. Oh!
Oh, hold up, what's this?
Huh.
The confusion ending.
Oh god.
You're telling me that's what this is?
How did we...
It's all one giant ending?
After
We're
a long
supposed to
time,
be something
Stanley dies.
8 times? That's really how all this goes?
Huh.
It's all
Take me.
determined?
That's...
So now,
Oh, we
according to
find a
the
bookstore?
schedule, I restart again. Then
Okay.
what? Am I just supposed
Which one
to
are we on?
forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget?
The narrator forgets
My
about previous
mind goes blank
restarts.
simply
Stanley
because
attempts
it's
to play
written
the
here
story,
on
but is
this
prevented. Unable to go anywhere or do anything. The game restarts on its own.
Well,
Find the line
consulted
again.
me.
Begin following the line.
When
Find
do
an
I get
identical
to
replica of the
decide?
office that has begun to
Why don't I
deteriorate.
get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget.
Well, it
what's
won't.
going
Eventually
on.
I die. Do you see? It'll be a jolly good Well, actually, no, that's true. You get stuck in hell forever. And then you just have my skeleton to deal with. And, like, the skeleton's not going anywhere. Uh-oh. I think you made the world angry, dude.
Did we do it? Did we break the cycle?
No, I think you... Well...
Whatever it is that made this schedule. How would we even know?
I don't want to make it mad. It controls the world.
Something happened?
I had a very peaceful ending in this. I just died of, like, old age or something here. Now what am I going to fight? This is your fault, narrator.
Just wait. You know, I suppose in some way...
We could have waited,
kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the
this was mapped out. My death was right here.
Always saying that life is
we had plans
and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now.
Well, my destination is death, just death in a tiny room here now.
Well, in the meantime...
Oh, okay. End. There we go. All right, another ending down. So, is that 2 endings then? Hello, narrator.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Stanley
decided to go to the meeting room.
Still 1? So it wasn't confusion ending. Should we actually obey the narrator this time? Every single instinct I have is no.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Will it, do you think, put us through the exact same story again?
This room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, so it will shut us. Okay. Right. That counts as the confusion end. So we are now 2 endings in.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section,
walked
straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Did I now? Did I now? No, I want to go through that door. Okay, so once I go through a door, I can't undo the door. All right, so that's fine. We can go into whatever the heck this room is.
Yet there was not a single
Tips for not getting fired.
Either.
Talk less. Do unbelievably amazing work all the time, every day, with no expectation of promotion or recognition. Don't get fired.
Find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive-aggressively on other coworkers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on the text. Bevel. This will ensure a calm everyone is unique. You most of all. Well, I'm the only one left in this world. Okay. Synergize, core values, expenditures, very marketing. Number of slides on this slide. Slides, charts, and slides. Fantastic. I like their marketing department. It will do the same. It will do the same if you'd make the same choices. We'll do the same ending. Okay, well, we technically made a difference then.
Walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Sure. Am I the boss now since Wow! His boss is such a much more swish office than us. Look at that.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was
This is his manager's office!
Not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this.
Oh, it's a horse! I thought that was a scream mask in that picture.
What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
Oh, really?
And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I want to know what the terrible secret is. Let it be Soylent Green! Let it be Soylent Green!
Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Wow, what a shock.
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okie doke. Sure. What? Oh, good, an elevator down. Big red buttons in risky elevators never go anywhere bad, do they? Hey, CD, how's it going? I take it you're a Stanley fan? First time I've played it, and it's very confusing.
Deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job.
Oh, you don't want your employees to do that.
Now, when for years it had never occurred to him. This question would not go unanswered for long.
Really? Okay, so we're in the bowels of the wonderful building now.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Stanley is never Stanley. Hello,
facility.
use of weapons. How are you going? Half-Life mods of people. No, fair enough. Escape. Escape? No, Stanley needs to stay here. Stanley must discover more. What has Stanley discovered, everybody?
The lights rose on an
it's this room again!
packed with television screens.
Excellent!
What horrible
We've managed to get
secret
2
did this
endings
place
so far,
hold?
CDE.
Stanley said to himself. Did he have
The cowards
strength
and the
to find
confusion.
out?
Of course, let's go, Stanley. Let's go have a look, which I think is pretty good since we've been playing it for half an hour. All right, what have we got here?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
Where's
Stanley's
mine?
co-workers. The lives of so many individuals
All of them gone.
reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Okay. I take it you two run into each other a lot on Stanley streams? That must be very fun.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't
Oh,
be
really?
true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Oh, well, better lock that down, otherwise you'll start to feel, and that's only gonna make you sad, dude. Go
No.
plug yourself back
He
into the Matrix.
refused to believe it. He couldn't accept
There you go,
it.
he's plugging
His
himself
own
back into the
life
Matrix.
In someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Don't question it, Stanley, accept.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls.
Mind
linked
control
with
status
emotions.
offline.
Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
You just know
And as the
if
cold
an employee
reality of his past
annoyed a
began to
Karen
sink
that
in,
she's just there
Stanley
clicking the
decided
sad
that
button
this
over and over
machinery
again.
would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Oh, really? Is that what Stanley would do? Fascinating. Oh. Their minds for the first time in this game. True pros can do it in only 6 hours. I think the longer you so this is like the opposite of a speed run. This game, basically.
And when at last he found the source. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
I want to be
After they kept you
happy.
enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you want?
No, I want to go back into the.
Control?
No. Put me back in the machine. I want to be blissfully happy and unaware.
Applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand,
Oh, gosh.
there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind.
Can I
what
press-
a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
And true, I would like to know that.
Silence before you're obliterated.
Just
I'm
curiosity.
in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened.
He sounds pleased about it.
Raise them. I turned off the machine. I set you free.
I told you he was a serial killer.
Merely in this instance of the
I
story.
told you it.
Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
Did I not just say before, wouldn't it be funny if he killed all the employees? And he did.
Swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though. This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go.
He says it as I'm bashing the on button faster.
What we come up with on the next go around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the
No!
clock. These
What?
are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
No! What?
Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right
Well,
now?
I was waiting for a nuclear explosion to claim me.
You saw that timer, that something in this room was capable of turning it off. I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this
No,
room.
mainly just the on
These
button.
numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley?
No.
That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Hey, Jordan, how's it going?
Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment.
It's
But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action.
He's not
moving
allowing
along.
us to die.
It's
We've been
just
trying to kill
seconds
ourselves for over a minute now, and he just keeps
You're only still
bringing us
playing
back.
Instead of watching a cutscene, because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see.
Do we ever get to
you
see
humble.
Stanley?
This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world. That's fine.
No, I wanted to go
But
back
I'm
into the
going to
Matrix.
destroy it first, so you can't.
Honestly, I like the narrator.
Take a
He
look at the
jives
clock,
well with
Stanley.
me.
That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle.
25,
30
actually.
seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces.
Or,
When
do you know,
claim
the
destiny
ultimate
for your
piece.
frail life,
You
or
might
when
see
you
Stanley?
don't
Okay,
live
cool.
peacefully, another
The narrator
choice.
always got you. The narrator's hilarious.
Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in.
It must have been
until
so
the
fun to
moment I
record.
say, happily ever up.
Nuclear explosion, everybody! Well, we kind of like zoomed in, but I thought maybe we'd see his face. We never I don't think we saw his face, but I could be wrong. Countdown ending. That's 3 endings down, everyone. Okay.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley
The
just
meeting
needed
room.
to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
Never alone, ever again. Ever again. We know how this ends, Mr.
When
Narrator.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Technically, yes.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the
Technically, I
employee
did
lounge
follow his
first,
rules that time.
just to admire it.
Just pointing out.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Sure he did. Stanley totally did that, everybody.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Yeah, yes, but actually no. Correct me. Yes, but actually no. Search a portal, meet the cause to. It's a short video featuring, among others, the narrator. Oh, really? Because I'd heard he had something to do with Portal, but I wasn't sure what. Interesting. Thank you for the tip there, CD. So Portals is what introduced you to it. Okay.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I'm very pleased. I feel powerful.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
So was that another ending there, Barry? Yep, 4? Okay. And there's a total of 19 we can get, right? So I guess we've got to try and remember what we've done and haven't done.
Came to a set of 2 open. This was not.
I've managed to kill Stanley twice, Canadian. You're wondering how I'd do it.
Well.
Maybe this is...
Wanted to stop by the
OCD.
employee lounge first,
You have such
just to
hope.
admire it.
Nothing survives around me.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, no, no. Stanley needs to go over to the next section. Though technically some of the
following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
What is this sign? Do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death. Nice.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
The urge to yeet oneself is strong.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult.
Oh gosh.
The fact is that the story is
I'm very good at killing myself.
All this time.
It's like a
Someone
natural
you've been
talent.
neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
Who have we forgotten
I'm
about?
not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Oh! We have a waifu. Hang on, you didn't mention I had a
Your chance
waifu.
to redeem
Bring this back.
yourself, to put your work aside.
Is
to
it
let
Forks?
her back into your
No,
life.
Forks is a boy.
She's been waiting.
Oh, shoot.
That's her, Stanley.
Oh,
You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her.
hello? Did I... Oh.
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
Oh, God.
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go.
The...
All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your
Oh.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you?
Well, the mannequin
I'm
has
trying to
no
make a
say
point
whether
here,
it commits or
Stanley.
not, sir. So
Trying to
I
get
can
you to
project on
see
it as much as I
something.
like.
Come inside.
I can have a
Let me
loving
show you
wife.
What's really going on.
Stanley's a strong, independent woman who don't need no man. I mean...
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Good morning, employee 427. Press U on your keyboard. It's not letting me have any other option. Sure.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
I just realized how creepy that was. I crouched then. I actually wasn't crouching to look at the mannequin. I was just crouching automatically. But the moment I did that, I was like, oh, I look like I'm perving on the mannequin. As much as one can perv on a mannequin.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work.
Again,
One might even feel
if you
sorry for
walked
him,
into somebody's
except that he's
apartment
chosen this life.
and they just had that mannequin in the kitchen, my assumption wouldn't be necessarily that the person was boring, but that I should escape the apartment immediately. Like if that's just staring at me in their kitchen.
But in his mind, in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful.
Mannequins
And each
from
day
all
that
over
he
the world
returned
to
work
collect.
was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Press K to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped out from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers,
This is true,
his
Titan.
boss,
She never asked for
everyone
this.
in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Be careful, mannequin. Stanley's excited.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered
The greatest
what lay
choice he
behind
ever
his
had.
door.
Which door?
The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Press K to prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations.
Okay.
Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he
Ooh.
called it the Stanley Parable.
Oh, to tell your kids a story. I grew kids?
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head, he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Press Y to tell your wife you love her. Well...
But there is
oh no!
answer.
Our wife is
How
gone.
could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
Oh gosh, Stanley's insane.
I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world, he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here,
now I'm
he's
trapped.
electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him
After
look at
the
himself?
nuclear explosion ending, dude, I press N to question nothing.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see.
Okay.
Maybe this time. And I tried again. And Stanley
Please
pushed the
die.
button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed the button. And I
Okay. Stanley is, I think, dead. Right. The narrator...
A soft wind blew outside
Okay.
and perhaps rain started. And if it did, it
That's
stopped shortly
different.
after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
He doesn't normally start like that. That's different.
When Stanley came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
So,
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never
it's
known
different
before.
dialogue though, isn't it?
Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly love.
The room?
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room
Well, I
so
do apparently
utterly
love it.
captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
And some boxes. And a soda machine. Cold drinks. Flavor unknown.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
That one creep in the office caused a mass exodus of people quitting. I brought my mannequin to work one day and introduced them as my wife.
Stanley sat around
And that was
waiting
when
for
everyone
more
drew the
dialogue.
line.
But when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Stanley's happy to wait. Stanley loves waiting. In fact, I can tell people interesting stories while Stanley waits to see if you say any more stuff. That's the fun part. So I'm sure I may have mentioned this before to everybody, but while we're waiting, did you guys know that YouTube originally was started as a dating site? And the idea behind it was that you would upload a video of yourself talking about your prospective partner that would be ideal, and people would see the YouTube clip of, that's why it's like YouTube, because it was meant to be about you. They would see the clip and they'd be like, wow, it's me you're talking about, and then they'd get in touch. However, nobody wanted to use YouTube for that, and so the people who had created it, they actually went to Craigslist and they put in advertisements there, because when I say nobody, I mean specifically women didn't want to use it, and they were on Craigslist and they were like, hey, we'll pay you $20 to give us a video of yourself, and so that went over about as well as you expect from women, and no one took their ad up. And so YouTube was like, okay, well, we can't get any dating sites on this then. So I guess we just opened up to general videos. And thus YouTube was born. All right, it does look like the game is giving us a hint. Yes, that was the first video because that's when they rebranded. They just opened it up for everyone, CD. So they originally tried to make it a dating one, but they couldn't get women on there as well. So they couldn't get the videos to be allowed to be updated. So they changed it completely as an actual platform. That's apparently what it started as, but miserably failed. See you, Disc. Have a good day at school. If someone brought a mannequin to work, I would leave. Basically, they don't pay me enough. Yeah, especially with your work, Titan, if someone brought a mannequin there.
Took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Now, was there only the forward yeet from that direction? Like there was either yeet ourselves or get trapped in that room. But was there another option that I didn't? I think there might be another option actually.
Stanley was so bad at following
I think there might be another option.
5 years ago.
Oh gosh. Okay, let's keep going. Yeah, the
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps
video games been a thing for ages before then. Yeah, I actually really love the old dating videos that they have where you'd get a recording and you get them from the 70s and they're very awkward men. It's quite hilarious. Pubs
neglecting Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
Ooh.
Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you.
After the endings I've seen,
beautiful.
I'm very unconvinced.
Let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
So far, I haven't had to actually give in to your side.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
What do we think Stanley did, everybody?
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
He took my door away, everyone. Or did he?
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. You see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time. The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing you, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much
The narrator
happier if
low-key
we just
sounds like
stopped.
an abusive relationship with Stanley.
Well, I think I
So
have a
Stanley.
solution.
Just...
Here, let me show you.
Stanley doesn't want to go in there. Stanley doesn't trust you. Stanley's being forced to trust you. Oh, there we go. We always have more choices? Okay, cool. Cool use of weapons.
Looking for?
What are we looking for? Uh-oh. I guess this. Do I have to take your mirror door? Oh, gosh.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment.
We
with
cannot jump
this
off the edge.
Stanley, I think I feel happy.
Actually happy?
I actually feel happy.
Okay, you psychopath. Let's see what happens if we stay here for a little bit, everybody. He seems to be happy. There was another choice for than the red door with the arrow, for instance. Okay, cool. Okay, we can go back and find that one. Yeah, I know, Titan. That was my first, you know. When you have the chance to self-yeet, take it, but apparently not. Okay. So we've got lots of nice colors coming up, so that's very nice. Oh gosh. All the pretty little bubbles going on. Very beautiful. Feeling great. Do you think if I stay here long enough I'll get an ending? The bubbles are changing. Well, on the subject of bubbles, so bubble wrap, did you know that was actually invented in 1957, originally as wallpaper. So they actually took like 2 shower curtains, like the old school plastic ones, and they glued them together, which created all the air pockets. And they tried to sell that as groovy new wallpaper, but it turns out people don't like to put shower wrapping on their walls with the bubbles. And about 3 years later, so in 1960, the guys who invented bubble wrap, they realized that they could actually use it as packaging, and they like founded a whole company that still to this day exists. I forget the name of it. It's like Arrow something, I think. And that's what they used bubble wrap for, and that's when bubble wrapping got repackaged. Which I was like, I love how it started as something to put on your walls. Oh, something's happening. Are we losing happiness points? I do like bubble wrap. Gosh. Go on, tell the story of Velcro. I wish that I knew the story of Velcro. That would be brilliant if I knew the story of Velcro. Unfortunately, I bet it's some silly story as well, isn't it? All those things always have really weird stories behind them. Well, Barry, while we're waiting to see if, it sticks with you. Very nice one, Canadian. Very nice one. It's just a coincidence, honestly. Wow. Okay. Do you guys think it's worth staying on the platform? I mean, I could start just telling you about my favorite Overwatch characters, because we can be here all night if I start that. Like, that's a never-ending story there. Actually, speaking of that time, you said that you're getting Ambrose into it. What hero did he end up liking to play? The acid is kicking in, so yeah, just stick it out here. We can just have this wonderful, beautiful music playing as we hang around. Junkrat and Soldier? Yep, they're the ones. Top 10 Overwatch butt. I'm assuming you're saying rating the females, not the butt characters, and that character's a butt.
I need healing. I need healing. Healing.
Number 7 is Roadhog's butt. That's on the list. That's why number 7 will surprise you. People don't pick it, but when you really look at Roadhog in the right direction, you actually realize it's a masterpiece. Much better than Widow's. Junkrat number 1 when he bends over. Oh gosh. Okay. What about Torb in that? Torb in that skin. See, he breaks the list because it's unfair to put Torb in that skin, in that summer skin, on that list. You have to take him off. He has to have a whole category of his own. Everyone else looks like garbage next to him. Even Mercy is just like, I can't even stand next to this masterpiece. Oh gosh. Barry dear, would you mind just checking if me standing here has a point or not? Because now I'm sort of invested long enough that I'm like, we've been here a while. And normally I would just keep going it. Oh no, it doesn't? Okay, thank you, Barry. Right, because otherwise we will just start getting into Overwatch.
No, wait, where are you going?
Well, it serves the purpose of talking about Overwatch butts, Barry.
If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset.
Ooh.
We'll lose all of this.
Oh, I've got him panicking. Excellent. Let's toy with his emotions further. Let's keep doing that.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Stanley getting... Yes!
No!
Oh. All right. Well, we can do that again.
No. No. What are you doing, Stanley? Please.
This time we're going to do a handstand.
Away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why
you seem to be having fun, though. Running jump. Head down. Nope.
Stanley. Let's go back to the other room.
No.
My God.
No.
Really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it?
Well, until you take away the fun squish sound at the end, yes, I'm rather encouraged. Watch.
Am I reading the situation correctly?
Squish! See?
Maybe
Very strong knees. Cybernetic ones. Hey, Leo, how's it going, man?
I just wanted us to get along.
Hopefully good. How does Cyberpunk going? Because that game looks wild. I've only ever seen it played by you, so everything I know about it basically is from me watching you. When you're streaming it, which is just absolutely awesome. Oh, we're finally dead!
It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
For those who don't know, Leo Fox is another streamer that I really, really enjoy. And if you're into mods, you have to check him out because he mods pretty much the majority of his games. Though right now he is playing Cyberpunk, which is not as modded as most of them, but it's still very fun. I didn't expect as much nudity in Cyberpunk as there was, but that's probably more on me than anything else. Poor narrator. The narrator was the one that blew us up and tortured us. You thought I was going to survive one of these runs, but CD, never expect me to survive.
Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo?
Is it raining now?
He could no longer recall.
I feel like I'm breaking the narrator's mind more than the narrator is breaking my mind, which is nice. It's good to play a game where the narrator is finally the one that feels like he's having an emotional breakdown.
And Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand,
Last time we stayed in here for quite a while. Are you a fan of the Stanley Parable at all, Leo?
Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Zending? The Zending. Okay. Zen Ending. Oh, you did just miss it though, Leo. We were rating Overwatch bots, and we decided that Torbjorn in the, well, I say we decided, that's more, I have the microphone, so I get final say. But we decided that Torb in the summer skin is the top class skin.
Investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
That's indeed very true, narrator.
Neglecting Stanley. Someone you forgot.
Nope, bye.
What? Really?
Yes.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Canadian told me there was another door in here.
I convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
Never.
Give me a chance. Now listen carefully. This is important.
We are so taking the wrong one.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Should have said the prediction high. I didn't think you'd go through so many so quick.
Perhaps
Thinking I'm breaking my friend's mind is number one sign. My mind is breaking. That's a fair point. Use of weapons. Though to be fair, I very rarely get the victory of breaking an opponent's mind.
Communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red. All right.
Tricky.
Fine, go ahead,
I
Stanley.
see.
You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Excellent.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map.
Well, then let me
because you were
jump
never
off.
Supposed to be here in the first place.
That's more on you
Broken
than on
rooms,
me.
Exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
I love the venom in the narrator's voice.
And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want
More
to see?
Jeffs.
Vehicles? Skill trees?
Cannibalism.
Work with me. You've given me
I think is
absolutely
the thing
nothing
we're
so
waiting
far.
for.
Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
The orange room.
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
No! The jerk traps us in there.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you
Very
more
tricked.
choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Really? No! You monster! You absolute monster. So he wants me to go through that left door, and we've done really well at not doing that. Well. What if...
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Actually, no. You know what? I will be honest. Yes, I do feel a bit more competitive now.
I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect.
I don't think I have too much choice there. Okay, into the new one.
In this game, the baby crawls left.
Into the
towards
fire?
danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear
Can I eat your
once
babies?
you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you
Thank you
give
for
it
the
4
bits,
hours of
Canadian.
play to make sure it's effective. Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
Did any of you honestly expect me to try?
Let's give it a shot.
There was fire and a cardboard baby. Where are we in Minecraft?
Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired.
I want to
A
jump.
game I had absolutely nothing to do with.
I love Minecraft. I'm trapped.
Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough?
Well, if you gave
Well,
me
I'll say
jump and a
this,
pickaxe
I'm done making things for you.
or a spade.
From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
Okay. Can I?
This will go here. No.
Is he giving a cask of Montiago me? Like just bury me alive?
Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes.
Oh, no.
It's complete.
I want to be in
I
there.
made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect?
I like
It could only
it.
be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything.
Dear Lord.
Yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Yes. Are you going to actually let me do this? Are you? Or are you going to cruelly take this away from me? What have I done to you, narrator, to take this away from me?
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
No. I'm just going to hope.
Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear.
Oops,
Something
nope.
that makes you
That
feel
didn't work.
utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5.
Oh no, I hear a
Diamonds
creeper.
didn't save this one. Okay, new game.
Uh-oh. Oh. Okay, so we're being shifted into a different game then. What is...
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box
It's
with no way
Portal.
out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Okay. Let's go on. Let's go see. I don't think he's going to let us play in here for a while, is he?
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
Very much my forte. As we've all seen.
Genius.
Yeah, just thank your lucky stars you guys didn't have to watch me play Portal. Imagine that chaos. Okay. Through we go
Actually,
here.
you know what? I think that's plenty.
No!
I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games.
I'm stumbling now. Oh, what have we... Oh, he saved us last minute there. He does definitely like to save us, doesn't he, when he gets a chance? Oh, and we're part of the void. Okay. Oh, back to our creepy officers. Okay. Interesting. So... Ooh, it looks like our offices have been decaying. That's not good. That's never good. I've been playing far too many zombie-themed things recently for me to be okay in a decaying office. This looks like it would be very dark on the screen for you all right now. Okay. Look, yeah, not suggesting a puzzle game. What do you mean, Canadian? You don't think I breezed through those puzzle games? Like, I thought I did quite well there. You know, just like, you know, snapped through them. Oh, gosh. Well, thank you for saying that, Leo. Play there is no game, tell us. What is there is no game? That sounds interesting. How have I managed to lose myself? Oh, Sadie, we actually just played Pony Island. It was an absolute blast. Very, very chaotic. We just played it this Sunday gone. It was a right mess, and I loved pretty much every single second of it. Except for one part where I got trapped against a giant demon guy and he would refuse to die because my mouse was messing up. Ah, a light at the end of the tunnel. But I really liked the butterflies because when you shot them with lasers, they would go, ah! And their screams of death were delightful. It was quite a joy. Oh gosh. But yeah, totally, tell me about this. There is no game. What am I meant to click in here? Am I meant to click something in here? I thought perhaps. No? Okay, glowing light that way now. Let's flow the glowing light. Also, MacDow's 95. MacDow's 95? What's that one?
If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy
In the bowels of your brain?
And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it.
No.
He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be
just using his necromancy skills to take me back from death each time.
I can wait.
Can you? But I can wait too. It's... Perhaps. Maybe I can wait. Everyone is suggesting puzzle games. I like how apparently my puzzle game plays tortured Canadian. The poor boy. Very similar to Stand Parable, and you make play other games instead of the game. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Greetings, Lunch Snake. How's it going? And happy lurking. Oh my good lord, there's a game called Steven's Sausage Roll, and that's a puzzle game, I take it? Steven's Sausage Roll. What a name. Okay.
All of his co-workers are gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Have we missed anything on the right-hand side, do you think? I'm sure we absolutely have. For example, that room on the left, we did a pretty short one of that. There must be more to investigate there. Surely.
When Stanley came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Why am I so entertained by that every single time? Like, I've done that so many times tonight. Just defying this narrator apparently just gets me off. I'm just like, yay!
The lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Yes, this time I will touch that.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section.
So we went down that last time. Right, we never...
Back on track.
And we went left there, didn't... No. I think we did go through there, didn't we? I don't know if maybe we didn't go left. That's possibly it. The witness went... The witness went. All tough but amazing. So... Bear is your Snake Bird X. Okay. So pretty tough puzzle games.
Yes, there was not a single person
Oh gosh.
Either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
Okay.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping coming
Right.
to a staircase,
Yes.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Last time we didn't do that. No, last time we went to the boss's office, so this time we won't do that. Oh, it's a parking garage!
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
A really
He
shite
considered
parking
the
garage.
possibility of facing his boss.
Oh, unless you can go through there.
His post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my
I do seem to be trapped
mysteriously out of existence
in a loop.
a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
Like that I'm stuck in a time loop?
Why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
These are good questions.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real.
I think Stanley's very crazy.
He came to the conclusion that it had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh, good,
Then
we're floating.
He imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me.
I definitely feel like I've broken Stanley.
How it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain.
Is that game the Dr. Lunskov? Is that written by the same guy, scene, or just a similar kind of
stars just a moment ago?
humor?
How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just he would prove it.
Nice, cool. Thanks for the tip there. I'll check it out. Especially
was a dream.
a free game is always bonus.
So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
Oh, because that works.
The cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back,
The mannequin against his its cold embrace, his usual way in waking up each day.
He thought to himself, I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job.
Back to my
Let me
mannequin.
continue pushing the buttons.
Please,
It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
Hey, Martzite, how's it going?
I am
Okay. I am okay. Oh, I don't think Stanley's okay. Interesting, CD. But it has extra content in the second playthrough. Interesting.
Please,
Oh.
someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Whoever.
I have a boss. Like, that's your reason to... that's your justification for living, or like that you're real. I have a boss! Don't let me let capitalism down!
Named Mariella.
Oh, is that...
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind.
It's like the narrator's an infectious parasite that gets into somebody's head and he's now spread when Stanley died to the next closest victim.
Way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day.
Now you push the buttons, Mariella. Now you push the buttons. He needs healing. Yes. Again with the dying.
She had no time for this. So it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down.
Where's our Luca Lucio to drop those sweet beats when we need them? And then she turned and ran. Maybe I'm just doing a death run of Stanley Parable. Every death ending you can get. Okay, so...
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great.
I like the headcanon that the narrator is a parasite that infects an employee. So the office is actually filled with other employees right now, but Stanley's head parasite isn't allowing him to see them. And so he eventually will run screaming from the office where the parasite will escape and go to the next person. And it's a continuous cycle.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open
Have I done
doors,
everything on the
entered
right?
door on his left.
No, I haven't. I have not.
The correct way to the meeting room,
I haven't played with the
Stanley
boss's
knew
box
perfectly
yet.
well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee
safe
lounge
thing.
first, just to admire.
Because I put the code in correctly last time.
Okay.
So let's not do it correctly
Eager to
this
get
time.
back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Yes, we did. That was the way to... Yes, that was the way.
So he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I'm trying to remember where we went to. I think it was this way to the office. I think.
There was not a single
I could be
person
wrong.
there
I may have
either.
done it wrong.
Feeling a wave of
Is this the
disbelief,
model of a different game that isn't one?
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
I didn't put any mods on it, so I wouldn't be sure.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yes, okay. So, to our bosses. Oh, what are you? You're different. Oh my. Business strategy. Huh. Interesting. Oh, an elevator. Oh gosh, there's so many ways to not go left in this game. Let's go. Where does our elevator take us? Ah, jazzy elevator music. Who feels relaxed and ambient? Do you know at one point elevators actually had chandeliers in them? When like in the early days, they actually, the inside of an elevator had like even like a sitting couch and everything. So you could like sit on this couch. They had a chandelier. It was like a whole to do. They looked amazing. Old school elevators are just excellent. And that was back in the day where you had like the gentleman in the corner who would press the buttons for you. Like, I think you still have elevator servant sometimes, but this was back when like every elevator had an elevator slave. Where are we going? Do. Just jazzy music. Yeah, exactly. Like, where else, use of weapons, would you store your chandelier if not in an elevator? It's the perfect location. I guess Stanley is the elevator slave? Uh-oh. What have we got through here? Oh. No, that's the same location, sir. I want to go in a different direction. Do I go in a different direction, or do we just stuck in the elevator? I'll press down again. Okay, I guess the elevator is just a toy for us to play with. It toyed with my heart. It lifted my spirits up in hope and dropped my spirits down back to the neutral position. Okay, so we go into the boss's office then.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody.
What could it mean?
He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind
options I don't have. I want them though.
To his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its
oh gosh.
be? In fact,
The shaky music
this
room?
keypad
Yeah.
guarded the terrible secret that lay
That's
buried
basically what-
below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number, 2845.
I'm
But of
hoping to
course,
trigger an
Stanley
alarm.
couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad,
Yes.
knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845, it would be another story entirely. But no.
Hey, there was an
This is
achievement
what
for
he
that,
was going to do
everybody.
instead.
Apparently, if you hit 8, it gives you. Oh, does it give me one for each of them? No. 2, 3, 4. No.
Stanley
4,
just sat
3,
around twiddling
2,
his thumbs,
1.
Trying to input anything on the device
1,
was useless,
3,
since he could
5,
never possibly
7.
know that the combination was
2,
2845.
4, 6, 8. Barry's favorite number, 47. 47.
2845.
5, 4, 8, 2. Triple 07. A worse James Bond. That's the knockoff James Bond you don't hear about.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and
We
the
don't even
door
know who's the
just
thing.
opened all
I
by
won the
itself,
8 game.
And Stanley got the hell on with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
This is actually rather soothing, the music. Well, it's not music. I know it's just rhythmic beating. What did he just say? I missed that. I was paying too much attention to my beep boops. He's gonna make me do it, isn't he? Oh, hang on. He said a room opened all by itself, didn't he? Look, I'm smooth brain. I'm entertained by very tiny things. Let's go! Oh, there's blood on it! No, that's just a shadow. I was very excited. I thought things were getting darker. Oh well, back off to the hell basement. Here we go. And what do we have down here, ladies and gentlemen? Ah, yes.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control
Oh, I
Facility.
guess we're going to have to save ourselves this time, aren't we? Because I blew us up last time. Dang it, Stanley might actually survive this run.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Well,
What horrible secret
I
did
guess it
this
had to
place
happen
hold?
eventually.
Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Stanley always has the strength. Stanley will forever be strong. It's what the S stands for in Stanley. And the Angly stands for, Strangly, because he wants to do that to himself.
Now the monitors jumped to
Okay.
life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of
444.
an employee in the building. Stanley's
Oh, gosh.
coworkers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images.
Yeah,
on
what is the
screen.
secret in the room, CD? Totally tell me.
One of them,
Um,
eternally monitored in this place.
Totally up for that. Especially since if it doesn't impact the story or anything. Lovely room. Let's go keep touching things, everybody. When in doubt, don't go in the elevator. Okie dokie. I shall not go into the elevator.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible.
Wait, isn't this the
to believe it
elevator?
couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he
Well,
was
no, I don't
happy
know.
with his
Hang on.
boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Alright, so that's the elevator, so we don't want to go in there. Oh, it said watch the closed gate, the one you came through. This one? Okay, so just watch this gate. Can do. I assume he's going to lose his nana at a second and start being like, move towards the thing. Oh gosh. Well, this is lovely, isn't it? Does the G-Man show up? Wait, did the gate just open? Huh. Okay. Well, the gate's opened. Well, we'll go backwards then, I guess. Now hit the lights. Oh! Neato! Well done, succeeding. Well done indeed. Don't touch the secrets, everybody. You never go. That is utterly delightful. I'm assuming that I should go for Go Secret Rangers. Oh, that's excellent. Once you go secret, William hides the best secrets. You'll never go back. You'll never go backward. I get it. Once you secret, you never go backward. Oh, Go Secret Rangers. Secret Room 2014. Oh, that's brilliant.
He refused to believe it.
And now we're just back to that.
His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Secrets for President 2016.
Life utterly blind to the world.
Okay.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
Did we try going up here?
Labeled with
I don't think we did,
emotions.
actually.
Happy or sad or content. Walking,
Let's
eating,
keep going.
working. All of it monitored and commanded from this.
Oh, the random buttons that he
As
possibly
the
wanted
cold
us to press
reality of his
before, but we were
past
dead
began
set on
to
being an
sink in,
atomic waste.
Stanley decided that
That's
this
fine.
machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I'm guessing that, like, my assumption is that with the buttons, they actually won't do anything, purely based off the fact that last time he kept saying numbers, like he kept acting like I was hitting buttons when I just wasn't. So I'm guessing that it won't matter.
And when at last he found
But let's go off. Let's go see what this ending is about. I would love to see this. Did Stanley live? We've definitely done something to Stanley.
and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Was it?
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley
How big is
reflected
the
on how
building
many
I'm in?
puzzles still lay unsolved.
No.
Where had his co-workers gone?
Out the
How
door.
had he been freed
Clearly.
from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did
Was
this
full of
strange
every
building
instruction.
hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized
Oh, I
none of
can't go
this
back.
mattered to him.
Damn it.
For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to
Very
understand.
communist China. All you need for happiness and freedom is to follow every
No
rule and
longer would
instruction.
anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be.
Oh, that's pretty.
his. And that was all.
Is Stanley, like,
It was perhaps
heightily challenged? Because everything seems
Stanley
very
stepped
big
through the
around
open
Stanley.
door.
Am I a very short person in this game?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
Like,
This
look,
was exactly the
those
way,
shrubbery is almost as
right
big as
now,
me.
that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Oh, well, there you go. And then I assume the robot rips you back into the office building to continue the 6th cycle. Achievement unlocked, beat the game. Oh, so that's the official ending. Like, that one's the actual freedom of Stanley. Well, at least we got Stanley free tonight. That's nice. And we didn't even go
Blew
left.
outside and perhaps rain started. And if it did, it stopped shortly
Oh.
after. Stanley hoped that he would one day
All right,
see
everyone. I guess we'll go left this time. We'll finally follow his #1 instruction that we have not gone left this once
When
this
Stanley
entire
came to a
time.
set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. This is exciting new territory, everybody. Oh, what can we make Stanley do? Wait. Haven't I been into you before?
Yet there
Do
was
not
not a
alter without
single person
conservative
here either.
whiteboard manager.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might
Close it
find
before
an
stare.
answer
Oh, I
there.
think I might have missed it. Okay. I feel like we've been in this room. There we are. Oh, this is...
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here.
I
so
like
he
it.
turned around and got back on track.
No. Stanley likes the closet. It is a nice closet.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow.
There's duct
Just an
tape.
empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
That's something. I like a good piece of duct tape. It has so many uses. Though I guess coming from me, that's probably
It was
not a good
baffling
sentence,
that
is it?
Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As
No.
it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Actually, right now, I'm doing squats. So this is called exercising.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
We're
Standing
exercising.
around doing nothing?
You know,
Why?
just getting it done.
Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I'm easily entertained, Mr. Narrator.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in
Bristles.
here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
We haven't got the broom closet ending yet, but hopefully we do. Teabag Stanley, teabag myself. Oh god.
To you, this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Well, use of weapons. Do you
Stanley
find
was
CD's
fat
use of
enough to be
did you get the broom closet
Probably
ending? Do you
got the
find that
job because of a
concerning?
Family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money.
Chad Stanley.
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
I'm once again
Well, I've come
addicted to
a
drugs in a
definite
game, everyone.
conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who
It just occurred to me, we could possibly do
This
drugs.
computer is dead.
Thank you again for the bits there, Canadian. Well timed.
A number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer.
Speaking
Making
of human
sure
body
they understand
failures,
basic
oh.
first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming.
Okay, this one's
So
a bit...
that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them.
Low shots and accurate shots there, narrator. Nope. We're waiting. We're waiting. Have you guys ever heard of Fibrodasia ossifera progressiva? I think it's called. Anyway, a long name that I can't pronounce and got very wrong. But it's this wonderful condition that people get where what happens is when your body tissue, like your muscles and that, get damaged, instead of actually regenerating, they basically generate back as bone. And what happens is the bone interlocks underneath the skin, so people end up encased in a prison of bone, so they can't move. So they have to, by the end of their lives, decide whether or not they're going to be standing up or sitting down, because their body actually physically locks into it because of like that layer of bone they have, well, underneath the skin and above their actual bones. And normally by the end of their life, they have to eat through a straw because as it just like more because basically what happens is you're meant to break your tissue and it rebuilds and you get stronger. That's like how muscles and that work. But in this particular case, the disease just creates more bone, so you just end up encased and die. So that's a fun thing human bodies can do. Leave the closet and then go back in. Good choice, Stu. Good choice. Okay. Hey, Simpson, how's it going?
I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby.
Good choice, Stu.
A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Do you think we've fully explored the closet then, everybody? I think we have. Barry, could you confirm if we've got officially the closet ending? Or... Can I shut the door on myself? No. Yes, I can. Oh, good. Ah. Stellar, extreme, entertaining games with Taliesin. This is what you guys came for, right? The dirty broom closet game. I can always come back on a future run. Keep doing it, Barry? That too? Okay, I can keep doing, like, just keep sticking in there. I mean, I can stay in this all the time. I don't mind staying in something. This is nice. There's a light bulb. It's not as good as the groovy level with the music. That one was good. I liked that one the most. That was very cool. But I guess we can stay here. In silence. I'm not in and out, so just keep doing this. Or like, really taunt him by doing that. I guess I can come back, but I feel like I almost have it. Everyone should trust you, just come back in a future run. Okay, well, we can come back in a future run, that's not a problem. Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Huh. So... Trust the person named Speed okay. I'm wondering then. If I go in here, because I technically got to this pathway a different way, do you think he...
couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his
Are we going to
boss,
get stuck in the
admitting he
same
had
one
left his
again?
post during work hours.
Possibly.
He might be fired for that.
But I was
And in
hoping...
such a
Okay.
competitive economy,
I was hoping that
why
since we'd
had he
taken the
taken
left that it would not put us back into a time loop, but I'm guessing it has. It's the same ending?
boss
Yes,
would
damn
think
it.
he was
Alright, I
crazy.
should have gone up to the
And
boss's thing then.
something occurred to Stanley. Maybe.
Oh, well,
he thought to
we're
himself,
doing it again?
Maybe I am crazy.
I was just
All
hoping
my
because we'd
co-workers
taken a
blinking
completely different
mysteriously
path,
out
but
of
obviously
existence in a single
not
moment, for
quite.
No reason at all. None of it made any logical
And I had to have picked the
sense.
longer one, didn't
And
I?
as Stanley
Oh well,
pondered
off we
this,
go.
He began to make other strange observations.
Time to run around in circles, I guess. This is
Why
all
couldn't he see
fair
his
and fun.
feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look...
So, anyone in chat planning on getting the Stanley Parable that's being re-released this year? Because it's meant to have more content in it. I don't know, obviously, what the content is, but it is supposed to have more and more secrets as well. Which, would be interesting. Time to die. Gotta make up for that death before. Oh, for that life before, I guess. Let's keep going.
Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation.
Exactly.
His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So,
I wonder what the record for is in a Stanley Parable, like the longest playthrough you can have while still actually going forward and like triggering events. So not just like standing still in a closet, but still constantly triggering things.
So much fun. And Stanley
So much fun.
Still not woken up.
Amazing Stanley.
So lucid.
I'm so glad we haven't woken up Stanley. That's nice of us. Don't see a Steam page. Would it...
amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner.
True, I'm not entirely sure when it is. I just know that it's definitely meant to be coming. Play the demo. Entirely different content, not just a small amount of the main game. Wait, so it's like not even in the same office building? It's like a completely different kind of game type thing? It's a demo about a demo, not a game about being a game. That's funny. That's very different.
And while he thought it all
Oh gosh.
odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their
Well,
dreams,
he'll just keep going,
the
won't
truth
he?
was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be?
I can see why
Stanley
people are
simply
like,
deceiving
they can't
himself,
really explain this
believing that
game and they
if
just
he was
explain it as a
sleeping,
walking
he'd have to
simulator.
take
That's weird.
responsibility
You need to
for
play
it.
it because there's not an
Stanley
easy way
is
to
as
explain
awake
this
right
without
now as he's
kind
ever
of
been
ruining
in
it
his
for
life.
a person, I guess.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all,
Oh golly.
he knew for certain beyond a doubt.
In the
that this was
okay,
in
now
fact a
you've
dream.
definitely got my interest
If the
there,
voice don't
CD.
seem fair to
How
make the
how is the
magical
demo
stars
doesn't
just
have
a
it
moment ago,
anywhere? Like
how else would the voice
that's
explain all
totally
that?
different.
This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just he would prove it. He would prove that he was in control. That
Wooly.
this was a dream. So
Come
he
on, Stanley.
closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
Stanley is now
He
asleep.
felt the cool weight of the
And there is a
blanket on his
poster of
chest,
empty.
the press of the
Fair.
mattress on his back.
Oh golly.
Fresh air of the
We're
world
sleeping
outside
again.
This one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job.
Oh gosh.
Let me continue pushing the buttons.
So we could have played the baby game for
all
4
I
hours,
want.
like he said.
I want my apartment.
Oh my
and
gosh.
My wife, my job. All
I
want
like
is
that.
my
Like, yeah,
life
4
to
hours. Surely
settle
people will
away
give up by
for
4
good.
hours, right? Like long before
My
then.
life is
No,
normal.
you do not know gamers if you think
I
that.
am normal.
Everything
Everything
will be fine.
I am okay.
And Stanley was not okay. So you say someone streamed the whole thing, user ring.
Stanley
Oh
began
my.
Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley.
Do you get like, does the game end after the 4 hours? Like the actual narrator goes, okay, you need to end now, and just finishes the game on you, or do you just proceed past the baby game?
And everything went black.
Bye. It's one of the actual endings.
This
Oh
is
my
the story
goodness, that's
of a woman
great.
named Mariella.
Oh, there we go. Our friend Mariella is back. So we're back to the parasite
Mariella
ending.
woke up on a
So that's
day
fun.
like
So this
any
time we want to go back up
She
to
rose,
the office
dressed,
and...
gathered her belongings and walked to her
Wait.
place of work. But on this particular day,
Huh.
her walk was interrupted by the body
I
of a
guess we want to
man
go back up
who
to the
had
office,
stumbled
don't we?
through town talking and
Because I think
screaming
we've
to
gone
himself,
the right as
then
many ways as
collapsed
we
dead on the
can.
sidewalk. And although she
Oh, this
was
is meant to be like
soon
19
turned to
endings,
go
and we've
call
only
for
got like
ambulance,
9 of
but
them.
just
So
a
there's
few
obviously
brief
meant to be 10
moments,
more.
She considered the strange man. He was obviously
The strange
crazy.
man who's dead
This
and
much
was
she
us.
knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she
Crazy
thought
people
to
often
herself
look
how
like they're
lucky
face
she
down
was
in the
to be
streets. That's
born.
how you can tell that they're
I am
crazy.
sane.
Not
I
injured
am
or any
in
other method.
control
It's
of
just
my
just
life.
laying down in the
I
streets.
know what is real and what isn't. It was
Ah,
comforting to
well,
think
no,
this,
that's fair,
and
CD.
it
I guess I haven't
certainly
spent too much.
seemed
Like,
this
I
man
felt
would
like I
have
did, but
better.
maybe there were more doors and stuff I
Then
just
she
didn't think
remembered
about.
the meeting she had scheduled for that day.
That's very
Very
true.
important
That's very
people
true.
Whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension,
The rest of her life.
She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
No scream, just turned and ran. I just said, how absolutely terrifying would that be, just seeing this businesswoman? Like, if you didn't see the body, you just see this businesswoman stop, seem to contemplate something, and then just silently run off. Like, no screaming, just silently start running. Like, I would not go to whoever a businesswoman
Stanley
was.
had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped
'Cause you can't
very
open the
much that it
doors.
was.
True, we haven't had a brightly lit office. We did click the computers. So I've mainly just been speedrunning through the office because we'd explored it, but perhaps there's more. Perhaps I was wrong. I want to go into there. Do you actually like... Oh, no, that means it's shut. Okay, so we've shut... No. Oh, hang on.
I guess this is where Stanley felt he needed to be right now.
Yes.
In this little hallway.
I like the hallway.
Here, with no distractions, to study room 417. Not to actually enter it. No. That would be far too forward. Stanley wanted to know it from the outside. To see it not just with his eyes, but with his heart. He would know room 417 as no man or woman had ever known an office before. That ladder over there. Oh, and that little picture of a horizon or something. It's all just a never-ending parade of joy for Stanley.
There's a cup in there. There's a clock. Look at that. There's a phone. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10 boxes. There's 2 open drawers. There you go. We're learning about the room. Can we learn more about the room? I want to go in there. Oh, I can go backwards.
No, apparently not.
Good call on the office. No. Can we go back to our room now? I liked our room the best. So far, that was the best ending, where we just stayed in our office and he got mad at us. And haven't checked the achievement list for, yeah, I haven't checked the achievement list for inspiration because I wanted to just do a pure run of it. Just what I discovered when I went through. I don't mind suggestions, but I figure if I looked at the achievement, then that would give me some sort of idea of what to expect. And I'd rather just sort of...
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Not that way.
To stop by the
No problem, Stu. Thanks so much for dropping by. Hopefully see you next time. It'll be for the rest of Lost in Vivo, which is a terrifyingly fun game and also scary. We can't go through any of that. Yeah, no, that's fair, City. Well, the thing is, I also,
It was okay.
I actually usually call my stream in about 10 minutes anyway from now, so...
To get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his
Oh,
left.
I know what I wanted to check. I wanted to check the gosh dang closet again.
So he detoured
Let me get back in the closet, damn it.
Walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Okay.
And got back on track.
Yes.
Yet there was
Ignore
not a
me, meeting
single
room.
person
I want to go
there
back in.
either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to... Oh, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
I can do that. I like this room. It's a joy to be in. Who else is enjoying the broom closet? I think it's very nice. It has exactly 1 broom, which I think, honestly, if you're going to give the one thing a whole room, you should have more of it, because that's like a little mansion. It's like how those rich people give, like, their tiny dogs mansions. Actually, funnily enough, apparently Paris Hilton built her, like, 6 dogs or something like that. An actual replica, smaller scale, mansion that was modeled exactly off her mansion. So her dogs could, like, go in it. Like, apparently it's big enough for a person to walk through. But it's just for her dogs, and it's like the exact same like replica thing, just on a smaller size as her mansion, which I'm like, so much. Is that it? Is he not going to let us do anything else? Okay. You want to be her dog? So downstairs is Long Ending.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
We can't go through there. I'm guessing if I go back to the broom closet, I'll get another ending. Oh, I don't think we went in here. I got the feeling money for stealing, but not yours, of course. So that's a lovely purse. Can we be in this room? No. Alright, so no investigating there. Fair enough. And I think we did... Yes, that was just the elevator shaky music room. Then we have here...
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere.
4,
Could
5?
he really be all alone? This was too... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Well, I managed to get him to do something else. I do like how you never quite know what he's going to do there.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
I was hoping to fall down the hole there. But alas, no, we could not fall down the hole. Alright, so... I guess this time we'll hit no, but we'll try to hit the other buttons around anyway to see if that makes any difference. I'm doubting it will. But why not? Let's go, Stanley. Let's go, buddy. Let's cause some
Stanley
chaos.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Here we go again. And we'll hit the lights. On they
The
go.
lights rose on an enormous
To the
room
next
packed
spot.
with television screens. What horrible
gosh.
secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
The escape path, Canadian? I don't know. It's so hard to tell what we have and haven't done now.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
How many employees are there? 596?
Stanley's
Is there only 500? Maybe there's
the
more.
lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And
Come on there.
one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Let's go, Stanley. You can do it, buddy.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Into the cage. It is very ominous. Imagine if you were someone like whoever built this place. What were the architects thinking when they built this? Like, what would you be like? Why do you want 3 evil platforms just attached next to each other in a giant room with monitors? What is your plan? Like, what else are you using that room for except evil? Or do you just like say, well, we're a news corporation, and people are like, yes, so for evil.
Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad,
Okay.
or content, walking.
I love
eating,
evil lairs.
working,
I love thinking like
all
whenever you see an
monitored
evil
and
lair, like
commanded
when you
from
think
this
like who
very
built it.
And as the cold reality of his
because so
past
obviously,
began to sink in, Stanley decided
someone
that this
has to like
machinery
during
would
the
never
building of an
again
evil lair be
exert
like,
its
I feel
terrible
like
power
that maybe
over
this isn't a good guy
another
place.
human life.
Mainly
For
because of the
he
large
would
human cages
dismantle
and
the
spikes we keep
controls
installing
once
everywhere.
and for all.
It's just a tip. Console disabled. What? Have I somehow missed a button? Doesn't that door normally open? Or have I started to go stir crazy? I swear that normally that opens, right? Oh, there it is. Okay, there it is. What on earth was I looking at? Okay. Mind control idle awaiting input. And Stanley was not going to do the thing. Evil contractors? Well, yeah, I
He
just...
found the source of the root.
We'll turn that on.
Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
I did.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do.
Alright, so we've hit the off. Let's see if the buttons do anything.
Go. Turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe
We can
you'll find
try.
this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
Okay.
How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this
I
is
like
making
how he
things
just
a little more
arbitrarily
fun,
picks
isn't it,
the
Stanley?
numbers.
It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now.
Where do you think
Shape
2 and
it
1
to your
are?
heart's
Over here.
desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments.
Okay,
until
absolutely
the
nothing
bomb
happened.
goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More
I'm just
time
doing it
to
in
talk
reverse. I don't think the buttons are going to help us. But it amuses me to try.
I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
Yes.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated?
Yeah, because he's giving us the exact same speech. So my assumption is
I'll
that...
tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine and set you free.
If there was a 0, I would think that we'd almost have a code, but I haven't seen a 0 button anywhere.
I simply let you sit there in
Maybe
your
I'm
office
wrong.
forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying.
Maybe there was a
alone.
0 button somewhere.
Other times, I let the
That would be cool if there was an actual code to input.
swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn
Okay.
to a crisp. I have to say this though, this version of events.
Though I guess it could be
What
142. That might be something. Like if the zeros aren't there, I could always try that. Let's see if that happens. So 142, wasn't it?
Go.
So
Sure, whatever I come
1,
up with on the next go around will be even better.
and we have the
My
4 up
goodness,
here.
only 34 seconds left.
So let's go
But
click
I'm
it.
enjoying this so much. You know what?
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I'm going to put some extra time on the clock.
4.
Why not?
No idea if this does anything.
Seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
It doesn't, does it?
Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley?
And
is it that you have no idea where you're going
2.
or what you're supposed
All
to be
right.
doing right
So
now?
you know, because I thought that, but no, definitely nothing. Well, let's go blow up everybody. That's fine.
Look at you, running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything,
Oh, okay,
anything,
yeah.
something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley?
Hey, I was just trying, narrator. You're gonna shoot your shot.
Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution?
How many of the
10,
endings does Stanley
100,000?
die in? Is it like the majority of them, or do like a lot of them he kind of like just gets reset type situation?
Just you and me and the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again.
I like how he's just there. Like they just got this thing. It's like
Stanley died
it's just like him,
again.
30 seconds, just telling me, and then Stanley died
Take a look at the
again.
clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle.
25.
30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part
Oh,
of the
I was
game.
hoping that maybe
And
just then when he
believe
goes another
me, I
choice, you had a
will
chance,
love it
but
every
no.
second of your inevitable life, from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever up.
Fantastic. Knows that Stanley's in a game, death kind of loses its meaning. No, that's fair enough, CD. That's fair enough. It does kind of lose the panache there, doesn't it? Well, that was fun. Oop. Let me move that over there. So, because yeah, this is when I would typically be ending my streams. But yeah, that was quite a lot of fun. So once again, thank you so much, Canadian, for suggesting that. So for those of you who weren't around at the start, basically, or anyone who, for this is like the first time you're seeing me play, and maybe you've come from my TikToks or something like that, and you've seen a lot more Fallout games than that. I typically usually play games with more of a story that are like less puzzle and more of an actual straightforward story type thing. But this last week and today and this Thursday, my games have been picked by my subs.
Mother. I need healing. I need healing. I need healing.
Thank you very much there for the bits, Sphinx, and well picked. I will not CD. I go through my VOD, so the games that you mentioned, I'll be noting down when I go through my VOD. But thank you again so very much for that. But yeah, as I was saying, this week and that I was playing games suggested by my subs, and this one was chosen by Canadian, and just very quickly, he's actually also a streamer. He streams with his girlfriend Danish, hence his name Canadian_Danish. And I do highly recommend that you do yourself a favor and you give him a check out, because he's another variety streamer like me. He's currently doing Horizon Zero Dawn, and he starts Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl actually in about 4 hours, I believe it is, Canadian. Correct me if I'm wrong. So if you're still up by then, definitely go check him out. They're a great fun, and it was a really good pick. I honestly liked the Stanley Parable. I didn't know what I was walking into, as has been sort of the case with all the games suggested to me this week. But as each game I have played, they've all come out delightful. I really liked the narrator there. The different endings were very trippy. I can see why, you, CD and Weapon, why you would definitely like checking out people playing the game. It's a lot of fun. And seeing how people would react to it. And if anyone is wondering when I'm streaming next, I'll be streaming again this Thursday. It's Tuesday where I am now. And on this Thursday, I will be finishing Lost in Vivo, which is a fantastic little horror game that, seriously, I played it last Thursday, and ever since I've played it, all I've wanted to do is finish the game, and it's been so hard not to pick it up in my spare time. So I am itching to get back into it. And then after that, it'll be this Saturday coming that I will be starting my new Fallout game, which will be Fallout New Vegas. Again, I've never played it, so that's when we'll be starting that journey. If you want to see the times or anything that I stream, just hit my About page. It has all of it there. But yeah, so hopefully I see you guys around. Glad to annoy me. That is a good one to annoy me with, Sphinx. Gets me every time. But yeah, so anyway, I really sincerely hope, everybody, you have a fantastic rest of the time zone wherever you are. And again, just very quickly before I end, thank you all so much for coming, watching me, for chatting, any like little suggestions people made in that. And thank you so much also for the lurkers and for the people who check out the VODs. But yeah, have a fantastic rest of the time zone wherever you are. Bye!